this is something that applies to all of you. Good morning! Just finished the first full week of classes at UCLA. This is the start of my second year of grad school, but now it's the weekend and I have some free time. But even on the weekends, UCLA is nice enough to go and visit. Even though I spend most of my weekdays there, it's a nice place to hang out. It's beautiful, and so I'm going to walk over to campus. And I realize this is about the time when people start looking at college applications, whether it be undergraduate, graduate school, whatever. I have some things in mind that might be helpful hints that I'll mention along the way, and once we get over to the lawn that I have in mind at UCLA, I'll talk about the main things I think that would be good to think about before you apply to places like this. I can talk to a few things that I would have liked to have known or have heard before I started any application processes for whether it be undergrad or grad school. Some 5 main things I can start with. Number 1 is to start early. And that means not just start the application early so you have time to finish it and review it, but also start any preparatory work early, as in start your hobbies early. If you have enough time to add a hobby to your list, do it. Try to make your application look as strong as possible, and beyond just the application, be able to have your interests be more developed and figure out who you are before you enter college. Speaking to personal experiences, I knew I wanted to be an aerospace engineer from early on. I was fortunate that I figured that out pretty early, but I was able to work on my hobby of amateur rocketry to show me that in fact I do love this material, and I was able to get better at it before I even applied anywhere. Hobbies can have the other effect too, that if you don't know what you want to do, try a few things that may seem interesting, and the idea is that something will stick. Before I do 2 through 5, I'm going to move over to a shady spot. It's a beautiful day, but a little sunny for me. There we are. That's nice. Number 2 is that standardized tests should not be a one-and-done type of thing. Unless perhaps you get a perfect score, I would very much recommend to take it again. Yes, these tests cost money to take, and yes, it takes time to study for these exams, but it's so much better to get the best score you can, because universities will look at the number with scrutiny that you get on these tests, and oftentimes it doesn't hurt you to take them multiple times. You can report the best score. That doesn't apply for every program, but for a lot of SATs, ACTs, GREs, you can report the best score you got, so it makes sense to take it multiple times. Tip number 3 is to apply broadly, and that is with reference to geography and selectivity of university. The rule of thumb that I used for my undergraduate and graduate school applications was to apply to 3 sets of 3, so 9 schools in total or so. 3 that you felt you had a very high chance of getting into, your safety schools. 3 schools that you felt you had a reasonable chance, you were around the middle of the accepted student population, and then 3 schools that you felt were reaches, things where you maybe were in the 25th or 15th percentile. And with regard to geography, those 9 schools should be all over the place. For my own personal applications, I applied to 7 different states for my graduate school application. Yes, I ended up in California again, but that was part of the decision process. But it was nice being able to know where I could get in and then to decide from there. Number 4 is to get to know the school, and that is in reference to the culture that the school embodies, the rigor, the location, whether it's in an urban area or if it's perhaps a college town. And then the next step is to get to know the program specifically that you're applying to and see how that compares to other programs, and then see how large that is relative to the rest of the school. The next level is to get to know which professors are doing cool work and what kind of research is happening at the university, or what's the emphasis in your program. And one of the biggest pieces of advice for getting to understand the school is to visit. Make a point to actually step on that campus and talk to students who've been there. Yes, geography might be problematic, especially for prior to application season, but certainly before you ever decide on a school, I would very much recommend stepping foot on that campus. And tip number 5 for undergraduate and graduate college applications is to apply to any scholarships, fellowships, or grants that you may be eligible for. You'd be surprised by how many of these things are out there. There's money for just about anything you can imagine. All it requires is you to apply and be eligible. What's nice is that no matter where you are in the process, whether it be years before college applications, going through college applications right now, or going through graduate school applications right now, this is something that applies to all of you. These 5 tips were very helpful to me, things I definitely used in both applications, especially in graduate school, because I was able to learn from any mistakes I made or things I wish I had done earlier and apply them as much as I could. The last thing I'll say about that is you're welcome to message me privately. I've been able to help people in the past, or message in the comments below, whatever you prefer. I'll try to get back to you and help your individual cases. Cool. Let's get on with our day.
7, 8, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and good.
Classic UCLA. It's a Sunday and campus is packed. There's this dance event going on. Here in my apartment complex, about to get back, do a little bit of work for a bit, but it was nice spending some time on campus. I'm gonna get back to my homework. I did a lot of work earlier this weekend, but it was nice to take a break, go to campus, and talk about something very important like college applications. Again, undergrad, grad, there are some things that are similar across all programs, and I tried to highlight a few of them. This coming week should be interesting. We have 2 movie premiere events here in Westwood at the Fox Theater, very close to where I live, so I intend to go to both. That'll be a lot of fun. I'll make sure to bring my camera along. But I'll sign the video off there. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and drive it down. 45 left. Okay, let's move on. We just did 5 and on 6 and on 6 you're touching